Ted was very mysterious. You never knew what he was going to do next. It was the summertime in the 90s. Me and my crew were young as hell. Staying out late was the only real big flex we had back then. We would all be out on the block cracking jokes until each of us was called in by our parents. You would hear the screech of an old storm door open. Tish, Lawrence, Leroy, come get something to eat. That was the voice of Auntie Paul shouting across the street for her young nieces and nephews, as they were always the first to be called in. It became so routine, it got to the point where all of the kids on the block would say it in unison when Auntie Paul would call for them. I should also mention, that was it for them for the night. Once they went in for dinner, you wasn't seeing them no more till the next day. For those who were able to stay out a little later, we was treated to an unsolicited trip to the Seventh Circle of Hell courtesy of Ted. He had recently purchased his first car. I can't really remember how it looked, but I knew it was a hoopty. He used to do this thing with the brakes to make it look like it had hydraulics. I'm not sure if he purchased that car to get around, or if he purchased it just to torture us. Probably about 50-50. At night he would go pick up his evil accomplice, Rodney, aka Hot Rod. The two of them would devise a plan for the night that would live in the memory of everyone who was affected by the proceedings. They would drive through the block slowly, checking to see who was outside. I can remember Ted nodding his head like an old man trying to appear harmless. Then suddenly the car would stop and back up. Simultaneously, both side doors would open swiftly. Then Ted and Hot Rod would jump out expeditiously, running towards us. We would all take off running. Before you know it, this nigga Sweetie Pie, who happened to be the largest member of our crew, got caught. He wasn't able to run as fast as us. "Aw, man," says Sweetie Pie in his deep down south accent. "Shut the fuck up," Ted says. "Get your ass over here," says Hot Rod. They struggled to lift him up, as Sweetie Pie was a really big kid, about 6'3", 240 pounds. They managed to get him up and carried him back over to the car. Ted says, "Pop the trunk." Oh shit, I thought to myself. I can see in their eyes total satisfaction. After a brief unsuccessful attempt to free himself, Sweetie Pie was stuffed in the trunk. Hot Rod closed the door. They hopped back in the car and pulled off as if nothing happened. Driving past us calmly, Ted once again giving a peaceful downward head nod, like they didn't just commit a kidnapping. They proceeded to drive off the block to the sounds of a screaming Sweetie Pie rumbling around in the trunk.
Man, let me out, man. I can't breathe, man.